Reverend Father Honorary Consul for Sri Lanka in New Zealand, M.C.A, ladies and gentlemen, I greet all of you in the name of God, which is a greeting that calls for peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I thank the organizers of this year's National Heroes Day for inviting me to address the gathering on behalf of the Muslim community. Your trust and confidence in my ability is well appreciated. I remember speaking to the gathering even last year in the temple across the road. When I spoke to you last year, we were all in a somber mood. We were worried for the life of our soldiers, the state of our economy, and the war in which direction it was going. On that day, I recited a supplication for the safety of our soldiers in combat. We are back again today in Thanksgiving. May 29th, exactly on the 17th, brought us good news of the defeat of terrorism with the announcement by His Excellency the President that the war is over. On this day, the whole nation said, thank you. To all those who participated in this great victory, it is great indeed. The country as a whole has paid its tribute to our war heroes, both living and the dead, and those who are injured or maimed. We here in New Zealand, who still have our roots in our country of birth, have gathered today to pay our tribute. I, on my part, as is the practice in our religion, in all sincerity and on behalf of the whole community, thank Allah with the words, Alhamdulillah, which means praise be to Allah for all His favors. Today I stand before you as a very happy individual, representing a community which too is joyous in our land of birth, our beloved Sri Lanka. I am more happy, if I may add a personal note, because I have been a part of the history of this conflict. I have seen both the beginning and the end of this conflict. I was also near victim in two incidents. In 1958, when the 3 number plate for cars was introduced, I was stationed in Batikulu. A streetcar that came from Colombo was blown up in the town. A curfew was declared, and I was on my way to the hotel I was living in when 2 men followed me with a knife in hand. They followed me to the doorstep, and it was only my knowledge of the Tamil language and God's grace saved me from certain death. The manager of the hotel later told me that they had killed a Sinhalese man and were following me thinking I too was a Sinhalese. The next day I tried to get back to Colombo. I got into the night mail with a police sergeant who was going on escort duty. My uncle, who was HQY Batikulu, came for a security checkup, and on seeing me in the train, prevailed upon me not to travel. I obeyed him and went to the hotel. The train, when it moved, went only a mile from the station and was derailed. 3 bogies had telescoped, and one of the victims was my friend Sergeant Apuhami, who had died with his gun in hand when an iron girder penetrated his back and came out of his chest. In 1977, a policeman was killed in Jaffna. There was a complaint against the police of committing excesses. The complainants were asked to come to Colombo for an inquiry. They refused on the ground they fear for their lives. Therefore, the late President J.R. Jayawardena appointed a committee headed by the late Lalit Apulathudali and Gamini Disanayaka to go to Jaffna and inquire into their complaint. I was one of the official reporters to the committee. I met all those who came to give evidence, including most of the members to the conflict, not to forget the kingpin. Ever since I have gone through the trauma of all the bombings in Maradana, Fort and Peta, which was my route to and from Parliament. Today we are tasting freedom, which we long to achieve over 3 decades. His Excellency the President, by his announcement on the 17th of May that the war is over, has given all of us a newfound freedom. His statement, the need of the hour is to forge national unity and develop reconciliation and friendship among different people that were earlier estranged, has brought us new hope. By his appeal to the print and electronic media not to write or broadcast anything that would create unnecessary divisions in society, he has turned him from a politician to a statesman. He has also vowed to introduce exclusive methods suitable to the country to eliminate terrorism and make the entire country peaceful and prosperous. Nothing could be happier. As a 21-year-old man, I rode on a bicycle from Colombo to Jaffna, and this announcement makes not only me, but everyone who loves our country happy as larks. This is the freedom we were all longing for. The government has moved in to find a solution of not dividing the land that is now made one. The government also envisages ensuring that there will be no threat to peace in our region. And echoing our attitude, I say in our own belief, MashaAllah, which means it is as Allah has willed. We must further thank the President for his remark as a statesman, I quote, I am not the owner of this land, but only its custodian. Therefore, this unitary country, which is without fear and mistrust, I now entrust to you. It is now our turn to play our part. As far as possible, the civilians caught in the conflict were freed without much danger to them. Those combatants who are in army custody are assured of a fair trial and amnesty or rehabilitation. Post-war action is to include intercommunal harmony, national integrity, and unity of the country. If I may draw a parallel to this act, quoting an incident in Islam, the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, was harassed by the people of Mecca for over 13 years. With sheer dint of patience and sagacity to overcome all obstacles and conquered Mecca. On the day of victory, his enemies were lined up. The Prophet in his address said, bear in mind, today all are equal. Every claim of privilege, whether that of blood or property, is abolished. Then he turned to the people and said, O you Quraysh,